All right, welcome to class. Today we are going to just review for the Chapter 3 test on conditionals. And basically, it's going to be you having a notebook out and trying questions, and then on pausing the video to check your answers with my work. I can't stress that enough. If you just watch this video, there's limited value to that, right? So try them, think them through, and then check your answers. So the first two are up there for you. These are on random numbers, guaranteed to be on the AP test at some point, and certainly on our Chapter 3 test. So pause the video, give these a shot. All right, so math.random again, it returns 0 to 0.999, less than 1 basically. So it can be 0 but not equal to 1. It's got to be less than 1. So this one's no good because it's never going to be above 40. B looks pretty good, right? This is about 40%. And so I'm thinking this one's good, but I should check the other ones. This one is going to be like 60% because 60% of the time will be above 40%. This one would times 100 and then be greater than 60. That's pretty close too, actually. Because let's see, that would happen about 40% of the time. We would be greater than 60. So, I'm not sure. Maybe this one's not good. Oh, because, no, that should be pretty good, actually. I'm not sure. This one is 60%, so that's too much. Um, hmm. I'm not sure. That's interesting. I would actually say both B or D would probably be correct there, unless I'm missing something. So I paused the video myself, and now I realize this one's no good because the math.random needs a little bracket thing there. So that would make letter B the best answer. Okay, so range of values. So I list them out step by step. So this is going to be 0 to 0.9999. Take that times 10. So now we're going to be 0 to 9.99999. Dot, 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 dot. Here is going to truncate it. So it's just going to chop off the decimal part. So it's going to be anywhere from 0 to 9. It'll truncate all decimals. And then plus plus would be 1 to 10. So this is the code that would generate a random int 1 to 10. All right, I'm just going to start throwing questions at you. Here's your next one. Pause the video, give it a shot. All right, I'd say there's two ways to do this. One, you can just evaluate it the way it is. So x is 2 and y is 10. So 2 is less than 3 and 10 is greater than 2. So that's true. But then we're going to do the opposite of that. So now it's going to be false, which means this isn't going to run and it's going to run second case. This is also a good example of where you could actually clean this conditional up by using De Morgan. So it wouldn't change the answer, but another way to think of this conditional would be to distribute the not and make it an or. So we could say x greater than or equal to 3. That's the opposite of being less than 3. Or y less than or equal to 2. That would be the opposite of being greater than 2. Right? So we could make this if x greater than or equal to 3 or y is less than or equal to 2. That would be the same condition as we have here. It might be a little bit simpler because we wouldn't have to deal with the not. Right? Again, it wouldn't change the outcome here, but it's a good example of where you could clean this up with De Morgan. All right. I think I've talked about something like this similar in class, but how could we improve this code? I should probably change this to, I should update this. So it is Trump or Biden now. I'd have to change these variable names, but what's wrong anyhow? Okay, so I'm counting votes and I want to count the total votes and then how many for each candidate. And the thing is, we want to increase the vote count every time, whether they vote for Trump or not, right? So like this line should really go outside because it's not really conditioned upon who they vote for. We're just increasing the vote count no matter what. So that should go outside of the if and the else. It's not wrong the way it is, but it's a lot more logical to do it this way. This would also have the flaw of if they typed in lowercase Trump or Donald J. Trump or something, it wouldn't work. So we have to be careful if we were actually writing a vote counting thing. We would need to be a little more careful than this. All right. So see if you can, and this is on the test in one form or another. So to take the math.random, right, they give us the information. This will be given to us on the AP test. That it's from 0 to 1, not including 1. That's what the little parenthesis means there. The solid bracket means it does include 0. So see if you can generate the code 1 to 5. Pause the video. Okay, so I always just start with math.random, which is going to be what it says here, right? It's going to be that range. And then from there, I need, what do I need? 5 numbers. So I'm going to take and do num equals num times 5. So that'll be, let's see, 0 to 4.99999. And then I'm going to truncate it. So I'm going to turn it into an int by just doing int casting that. So now that will be 0 to 4. And now I'm pretty much got it. I just got to do plus plus to that number, right? So that's my integer with 0 to 4. And I take that variable plus plus, and I'm 1 to 5. All right, and again, that's going to be somewhere on the AP test in some form or another. All right. So pause the video here and see if you can spot what's wrong with this if. Problem is, it has to be like a true or false statement. So this just says take whatever count is and divide by 3. It doesn't, like, that's not a true or false. Like, if you could say if when you divide by 3 it's equal to 5 or something like that, but this isn't a condition, right? This is not a true or false statement. It's just a division, right? So I think what they're trying to say there is the condition does not evaluate to a Boolean. It does not evaluate to a true or false. Okay, and you don't have to have else. Sometimes students think you have to have else. You don't have to have an else. You can just have an if like it is shown here. All right. So on these ones, your tip, I really strongly suggest you make little buckets and then just change the buckets as you go. Here we have an X bucket, a Y bucket, and Z bucket. So on your piece of paper, pause the video, follow this step by step, and then figure out what is printed at the end. Okay, so initially X gets set to 7, Y gets set to 3, and then Z gets set to whatever X and Y are at this point in the program. So they would be 7 and 3, so Z would now be 10. Okay, so Mitch is cool, that's true. So since this is true, I'm going to go run these lines of code in order, right? So X is going to be whatever Z is currently minus 5. So that means X is going to be updated to 10 minus 5. Okay, so now this is 5. And again, go line by line in order, right? So now X has a new value, right? It's not the 7 it was before. X is now 5. So Y is going to be 5 plus 1. Y is going to be 6. Similarly, all right, Z is, well, Z was 10 initially, I guess. So now Z is just going to be what it was before, 10 minus 2. So now this just gets updated to 8. Right, so again, go line by line, right? Because oftentimes I see students put like 8 here because they think this X is 7, but X got changed in the previous line. So we have to use its new value. At any rate, it should be 5, 6, and 8 is what should be printed there. All right, same type of question. Pause the video, give it a shot. All right, so I'm going to draw, we have just an X bucket this time. And it starts off with 30 in the bucket. And these are it looks kind of weird, but it is going to run all of these first ifs kind of separately. So we're going to say if we're less than 50, which we are, then x is going to be whatever it was before plus 100. So now it's going to be 130. And now this is done. This if is done. So now it's going to check, are we less than 90? Nope, so this doesn't run. Are we greater than 200? Nope, so this part doesn't run. But this if has an else. So since the if failed, we are not greater than 200, it is going to run the else, and we're going to do minus minus x, so we're going to get 129. And that's what's going to be printed out at the end of this code. So it's a little bit weird because you have three separate ifs, the last which has an else, which does run here to give us 129. All right, next question to see if two things are equivalent. Pause the video, give this one a shot. All right, this one should be equivalent because this is just De Morgan. I think if you distribute the not, you have not x, and you got to change the symbol between them and not y. So if we use De Morgan, we would get exactly what we have over here. And De Morgan says those things are equivalent, so boom, equivalent. All right, last one. Pause the video, give this a shot. All right, so hopefully I had a chance to try this and what it would look like as a condition. So I want to make sure that it's not an empty string and has a length greater than 0. So I want to do if name.length is greater than 0 and name dot equals the blank string, and I want to say it's not equal to that. Okay, so I'm going to slap a not in front. So basically my condition, the way I would do it would be something like that, is if the length is greater than 0 and it does not equal the blank string, then we want to say, hey, good job, nice work. Okay, otherwise if they do it wrong, let's see, what do we want to say? Your lack of knowledge is stunning. Okay, and there's definitely more than one right way to do this. So this is if they did it correctly. If it's greater than 0 and not equal to blank string, nice work. But we could also, like in a De Morgan sense, so we could change it to be like if it is 0 or equals that. Oops, or find the right thing, or equals that, then we could just flip-flop these, right? That would be a pretty similar conditional. If it is 0 or equals that, you know, then switch these around and we would have a very similar type conditional. So there would have been multiple right ways to do this, even beyond what was shown in this video. And that's generally true in your program. There's not one right way to do it. There's oftentimes lots of different right ways. So that is all. Thank you for watching.